Hey, what's up everybody? Hope all is well. Welcome back to the ShabinLife. You can see we got the truck packed. Gonna head up to the Shabin for the weekend, do a little brush cutting, maybe drop a few trees, make sure the Shabin's still standing. Gonna be about 3-4 hours to get up there, but for you guys, you'll be there just like, bam, you're there. That was pretty quick, gotta admit. My neighbor owns an excavating company, and he was kind enough to meet me late in the day today so that I could pick up a couple yards of wood chips, and we're going to wood chip back over at the Shabin in front because we've been chipping up a lot of the small saplings and trees that we cut down, but it takes forever. So a couple yards of wood chips, make it real nice out front, and we'll take you over and show you that. But we figured we would try and do a day in the ShabinLife type YouTube video this time around. So we'll do what we can, and we'll bring you along. Hope you enjoy, and yeah, rock and roll. Hey, what's happening everybody? It's another day here at the Shabin. Yesterday we were able to get some wood chips down. Didn't necessarily have as much as we planned on, but hopefully we can take down some trees today and end up with a few more branches to chip up, fill in some empty spots. But today I think we're going to conquer mowing the yard, dropping a couple trees, maybe trying to clear a little bit in the back. We'll bring you guys along. Alright, so we're packing up, about to head home. Been here for maybe a day and a half, got a lot of work done. But I always stink with picking up the camera and filming while we're doing stuff, so I have these grandiose hopes to video everything we're doing. And certainly you grab the chainsaw, you drop a couple trees, and then you think, oh, I should have grabbed the camera, but it never happens. Same with I'm sure everybody's tired of watching me brush cut the field. And we broke some new trails this weekend, which is awesome. It just means that we're getting that much closer to clearing the area that we're eventually going to put a house. And it's exciting to see some stuff that we've never seen before and open up some areas that we've never seen. And it was hard work, but anything that's good's worth it. But I thought instead, since I didn't really pull the camera out, we would just sort of take a quick walk and just talk to you a little bit and show you what we cleared and kind of what's going on, and you can get a good look at the property just as much as we are at this point. And yeah, so we'll go take a quick walk. All right, so this is what we normally clear when we come. This is what we've cleared since the very beginning. If you haven't seen some of the earlier videos, you can see this was crazy out here. And it's still a lot to brush cut, but it's a lot easier now with some of the stones moved and some of the trees taken down, a lot of the bushes. But this was where we concentrated while we were here the last day and a half. I don't know if you'll be able to see in some of the earlier videos or some of the pictures, but this was just atrocious. You can't really tell, but there's almost like a wall that goes up right there. And this is sort of a little ravine. I don't necessarily know if back in the day there was water that essentially trickled down there before there was any type of storm water management, or whatever the case may be. But water, I think, came from up there and just all the way down. And we haven't really done too much back in there, but we've walked the property and we noticed some water, that I don't want to say puddles up, but there's definitely some water that gathers down there, which hopefully, in the future we can do something where we put maybe like a pond back there and, filter all the water that, runs off from the land into the pond. Be awesome, stock it with some fish, which would be great. But this area is coming along really nice. And, it always is great when we get it cut. It just, shows you how much work and effort you put into things and that it's paying off, But like I've said before, and I did a bunch of videos when we first got here that I sound like an idiot on, so I probably won't include them in the video. But just saying that every time we come here, you have these great ideas of doing more and more and more, but ultimately you got to clear what you already cleared just to kind of start where you left off last time. So this time we were here, we wanted to push back this way because ultimately the house is going to be way back in that area. So the further and the further we can get back, and I don't want to say the quicker we can do that, the sooner we can start plotting and scheming to pin off a house and see what things are going to look like and see how flat things are, those types of things. But we did a pretty good job this weekend clearing up in here. We took out a whole bunch of, maybe 3-4 inch size trees, thinned it out a little bit, took down some saplings, and then, God bless the brush cutter, because I put that, through hell back again when we push through some of this stuff. But we'll take a walk back. This is our makeshift shower area that we're going to use before we leave today because we're both sweating. But ultimately, where the truck is down there, the hope is that drive will continue all the way up, all the way down, and all the way up there, that we've cleared. And that'll be the drive up towards the property. But this is great. I know it doesn't seem like much to probably those watching, but it means a lot to Dayna and I that we were able to clear a lot of this stuff. We're
just take down some of the harder stuff that makes it difficult to brush mow around. Some of the stumps and, small trees and the bushes, they just become a pain in the butt to have to constantly mow around or get the brush cutter stuck on. Obviously, there's rocks all over the place, so they're not going anywhere anytime soon. But to be able to clear and see what you're doing, then take down some trees, just makes it easier once the meadow starts to grow up next time. So hopefully when we get here next time, we can start killing off this little corner. Right on the other side, you'll see we almost, we almost broke through into this drive area. This was crazy when we first got here. I mean, you couldn't walk anywhere near here. If you go back and watch some of the earlier videos, I mean, we didn't get back in this area for probably the beginning of the second year, which was really just the start of this season. In springtime, we tried to get up here and knock some stuff off just because it's easier, because everything really hasn't budded yet and nothing's super green. Plus you can see a little bit, but this is awesome. I mean, like I said, it probably doesn't mean a ton to those watching, and for those who are watching, who are doing this same type of adventure where they're building maybe their future home off grid or future home out in the woods or just developing land, how much it means to just see how thinned out this is, and the potential of land that you bought that you really didn't get a chance to walk too much of when you first purchased. So it's just getting more exciting as we clear more of this stuff out and what's possible. But we'll take a walk up and around.
Do you want me to hold it? You can walk?
Nah, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna give the camera to Dayna. I'm tired of holding
it. You can point some stuff out.
So this area, none of this was cleared. None of this was cleared.
I gotcha.
When, I mean, nothing was cleared. I say that, lightly. Nothing was cleared. I mean, everything that you see that's cleared now is us just slowly, attacking a little bit at a time and just knocking stuff back a little bit. But you can see, like, this kind of stuff, this stuff is all over the place. And I mean, you can't exactly run a brush mower through that. It's awesome. It's just not that awesome. So, I mean, you got to come in here and slowly, chopping it down is one thing, but you got to do something with it. Most of this can't get chipped because it's all crazy angles, and some of it can get burned. So we're doing a little bit of a burn, a big burn out there that we did this past weekend, and I'm sure we'll have to do more. But, as you take stuff like that down, you got to make room in the fire pit for it. But, this up in this area is where a house is eventually going to go. So it's cool to start seeing this. It's cool to just have it open so that we can walk around and see what's going on. But the idea here is to basically clear, from this area, clear back towards the Shabin. I mean, that's a goal that we have for the end of this season. Certainly if we had some sort of skid steer or, little loader with maybe a mulcher on the, mulcher attachment, we probably could kill this in a weekend. That's just not the case, and it's tough to get our hands on stuff where we're at up here. And so really it's just a lot of hard work and a little chainsaw, little brush cutting, get the loppers in there when you can find something small enough just to cut with the loppers. But basically walk down and we'll take a look. But up in that area is sort of cleared too. Fortunately, the canopies are keeping that from growing as fast, so the ferns are popping up all over the place, but they're easy to cut down, and it's keeping everything sort of low back here, so it's a little less from the very first time that we cut this down, that we have to do it each time. But there's just a little section in the middle that once we bust through there, this will be sort of open. But like I said, when we first made our way back here, we sort of strung off where a home's going to be. You might not be able to hear me. Just to give us some sort of idea as to where, when we were walking back here at first, it was hard to get your bearings where you were because you couldn't really see anything. So we just threw up some green tape where we measured off, we thought a home would go. Now that we're back here, it still seems like a good spot. We may be able to even shift it a little bit closer to the Shabin and still have plenty of flat areas up here once the house gets built. But, next is to tackle this monster, which reminds me of like a scene out of Rambo or something, but there's definitely hundreds, if not thousands of saplings through there. And, you know, it's just going to take a little bit at a time to just cut them down, pull them out, chip them up, and make it flat enough so that the brush cutter can get in there and just start mowing some stuff down. But again, at least we can see it, which is cool. But this is just, it's just nice to have an open area. Like I said, I mean, each time we bust these areas open, it's just more that you have to brush mow when you come back up here. But each time we come up, just a little bit here, a little bit there. There's some trails that we cut through just so that we could see what was going on, you know, in the rest of the property. But I mean, we're nothing. We're a couple hundred feet into a few thousand feet of property that goes back. So I mean, back there we'll stay forested, and we're in the northeast, you know, Pennsylvania area, and we should name this place like Fieldstone Farm, because it's just stick a shovel in the ground and you basically hit rock. So there's certainly no shortage of fieldstones and huge boulders everywhere. So it's, you know, I've said before in videos, as you go back in the property, certainly there's stuff that we still haven't really seen, especially during the different seasons, but a lot of that we're just going to keep forest oriented. That way we have places to hunt back there. Plus it's a little bit more rocky when you get, you know, into the back corner. Lots of boulders and stuff, and the hemlocks are growing, so nothing really grows up there. The hemlock canopy basically keeps everything, you know, from growing. So we're basically just cutting down the front side so that we can have places for, you know, some livestock, you know, big gardens, whether they're, you know, like some sort of, you know, track garden or, you know, kitchen garden where the house is going to be, which is exciting to think about all that stuff. It's what you're doing it for.
Some fruit trees.
Yeah, lots of fruit trees, an orchard out front, sort of where we cleared out there. You know, ultimately, you know, our property goes down much further, so hopefully we'll have maybe an orchard down in the front and, you know, leave a little bit of pasture. So if we're raising meat birds or something, we've got a place to, you know, basically pull like a chicken tractor around and stuff, get fresh grass for them to eat. But this, you've probably seen before in videos where this was just the area where it's sort of making a circle around this and just slowly starting to cut away at the inside. I say that, but each time I come up here, it doesn't seem like I get further inside. But you can start seeing the Shabin, so you can see like the loop we just made. You know, it doesn't seem like a huge loop, but there's a lot going on in there. But like I said, that area up here where Dayna's pointing, I mean, we got a lot, you know, chipped away at this past couple days, which has been great. Even cooler was that now that we're making our way in to see some stuff, we came across, you know, some blueberry bushes, which we knew essentially were on the property. We just, you know, a lot of times we're up here, it's either the winter time, so you have no idea what's what. And I can't say that we're like, you know, God's gift to, you know, foraging the forest by any means, but we were excited to come across a bunch of blueberry bushes. And, you know, now that we see them, you know, we can pay attention when we're brush cutting to make sure that we leave all that stuff standing. But, you know, there's all kinds of blueberry bushes. So that's been pretty exciting to find. Yeah, it's the little things. But we'll take a walk back up real quick so we can see sort of what we thinned out. We didn't get a chance to grab the camera, but we saved a bunch of rabbits. Had some rabbits running, you know, when it's this thick and it's this time of year, you know, I guess the bunnies are having bunnies, and they were all scattering, so we didn't know where their little rabbit hole was, so we just sort of picked them up and saved them. But this is where we thinned out. Again, I know it doesn't seem like much to people that are watching, but it means a world to us. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to break through some of this stuff, and it seems like maybe just grass you're mowing through, but maybe if there's some footage of me cutting, you'll see that, you know, a lot of it's like this. you know, where it's, you know, you can't really get the mower in between everything, so you sort of have to go in and chip away at some saplings in order to just make yourself an area that's wide enough for the mower to get through. And then you sort of just start chopping away. And in the meantime, you have stuff like this that's in your way, where you don't find out about it till you're, you know, over top of it. Then you're mowing rock. But this is pretty great. I mean, this is just a little bit, you know, if we can do a little bit at a time when we're up here, that's exciting. With my hat on backwards, I feel like I'm channeling my inner Jason Crocker. Shout out if you haven't watched the Crockers. They're an awesome YouTube channel. Previously the Crocker Homestead, now just the Crockers, which I love the idea for the name change. Your name change. I love your videos in general, but you're like my perfect mix of punk rock and homesteading, so we appreciate it. I don't think I can rock a backwards hat as good as Jason, though. I'm not gonna lie. But this is awesome. You know, hopefully when we get back here next time, we're starting to get into the hot of the summer, so it sort of slows down some of these ragweeds and goldenrod and all these other types of, you know, brush. It slows them down from growing as fast, which makes it a little bit easier for us to attack. But hopefully when we get back here next time, we can sort of trim down a lot of these saplings. We'll leave some of the bigger trees for now until we figure out what we're gonna do and where things going. But I think the idea is to just break through the rest of this brush on this side to get over to where the driveway is gonna be. And then again, just start working our way into this, you know, kind of brush forest right here. And once we can tackle getting that down, it'll be exciting, because at that point we'll have a nice large rectangle, you know, from the front of the property all the way to the back of the property. And we'll be able to start, you know, plotting out where our house is going to be, and maybe, you know, pinning out where we can start, or what type of home we want to do, and all that kind of stuff. But the Shabin's been great while we've been here. It certainly is great to have a place to store all the equipment, and, you know, it's awesome considering it absolutely poured last night. And, you know, not that we're against tent camping it, but it's nice to be able to go to bed inside the Shabin. And not gonna lie, we have a TV in there, which makes it a little nice. Only get a couple channels, but one of them's Laugh, and I'm okay with watching that because it's comedy all night long. But yeah, everything's coming together slowly but surely. Just another weekend here at the Shabin. Appreciate you guys watching, and, you know, stick around for the next video. Try and make it something other than just me mowing a lawn. And we'll try and do better at taking some other footage of us actually doing some stuff other than chainsawing and brush cutting. And really, that's where we are at this juncture, and, you know, developing the land. And, you know, soon we'll be putting some systems in place, you know, on the Shabin that will help us out. Right now we're humping water up here, which is no big deal. But, you know, now that it's a little hotter, it takes a little more water to take some showers at nighttime, and wash dishes and stuff like that. So, you know, ultimately we'll throw some gutters up there with maybe a little IBC tote and do some rainwater collection so that we can use that water while we're up here. And, you know, just a couple other odds and ends. So we'll try and bring you along while we do that kind of stuff too. But like I said, most of it right now is, since we only get up here for a day and a half sometimes, it's basically mowing, you know, getting to where we left it the last time we went home, and then just trying to break and, you know, cut some trails and break through a little bit more. But it's exciting, and we appreciate you guys watching. And leave any comments below, and you can catch us on ShabinLife on Instagram. See some fun pictures of not only here, but some pictures at our suburban homestead in our garden, where we're trying to live self-sufficient as well. And
Our chickens.
yeah, we got some new chickens and some backyard chickens at the house, and we don't really take too many pictures and post that stuff, but chickens are doing good. Maybe we'll throw a little bit of some pictures up on Instagram, maybe do a short video for YouTube on the backyard chickens. They're all laying now, which is cool, and we're inundated with eggs, and we're loving it. So again, thanks for watching. Appreciate you checking in, and we'll catch you on the next one.